he's very paced out right now, where he's just like, I've got my routine going on like this. Oh, I got it, dude. Dude, did I get it? Did you see that? Did I get it?
That's the intro.
Dude, I got it. Where's this bad boy? Fuck you, fly.
I would love if it was actually still in your hand.
Dude, it probably is. I'm washing with hand soap. Who fuck knows what's up there?
Shit. Fuck.
Check it out. Roll that back.
What were we talking
Jamie,
about?
pull that up.
Hey, welcome back to A Conversation With. My name is Philip DeFranco. We're treating this like episode 1, season 2 of A Conversation With. And today we're having a conversation with Gus Johnson.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
This is a favor. Actually, this is you doing us a favor. This is the epitome of boys support boys. You
right.
coming in with 12-hour notice? Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah, 12, 24-hour notice. So appreciate you.
Yeah.
To get things started, if someone is an idiot and worthless and they do not know who you are already, how would you describe yourself?
I do really short form sketch comedy stuff, quick cuts, and I run a competing podcast, the Gus and Eddie podcast. We did an episode with Phil a little bit ago, and that's kind of what I'm up to right now.
That was fun. I don't throw myself on other things because I feel like it's very vulnerable. It was almost a reminder for me. Oh, this is probably what people feel like when they come on mine. Like they don't know what's coming out. But you guys just have like that natural back and forth banter. You make everything feel super comfortable.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it does help too, like where we are actually friends, like behind the scenes too. And you know, you hear stuff sometimes how maybe people aren't getting along as well, and it's like, oh shit, I'm working with this guy, and that's my public image. But like Eddie and I live 10 feet from each other. We play video games every night, and we're just chilling.
How long have you guys been friends? I think I asked him this, but I can't remember.
We were friends, I don't know, like 3 years or something, I think.
Yeah.
We both went to school just in really small rural colleges. And he went to school a couple hours south of me by Chicago, out our suburbs and stuff. So we met online, like we saw each other's stuff on Reddit, and then we started messaging each other. And then that whole United Airlines thing, remember they dragged that doctor off and like beat the shit out of him and stuff?
Yeah, that was horrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Both Eddie and I the same day were starting to make a meme about it. And we messaged each other
I love, hey, you know that thing that was fucking horrible?
Yeah.
So we were memeing it.
We're like, dude, we got to hop in on this. And we just jumped in on it. Fucking fly.
Is that the fly from your hair, Amanda?
Is that outside?
You brought it in?
How dare you? We'll just CGI it out. No
yeah,
worries.
it'll be fine. We'll do it.
No, dude, we just started, we're like, oh shit, you making a United Airlines meme? And I was like, oh goddamn, yeah. So then we just green screen footage and then cross memeified to make one United meme.
Yeah.
And then we were buddies ever since then.
How long have you been roommates?
We've been roommates for 1.5 years out here.
I'm always fascinated, like especially when I get people on now that either live with people that they work with, their friends and stuff like that, and seeing what's the worst thing about living with Eddie.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just going to be a shit on Eddie podcast. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the only thing that we've had a disagreement over is Eddie likes a little cooler in the house. I like it a little warmer. So for that reason, we're
so this is hell for you.
No, this is not bad at all. The thing is, like, just where I end up working is right in the line of the AC vent, so it's the direct air that's a problem. Also, Eddie's attitude.
Just his attitude and him as a person, his opinions, I'm not a big fan of.
Other than that, though, we gel like hell.
That's great, though.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
pretty chill.
I'm gonna be really sad when in 3 years I have to report about like just your messy friendship breakup.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
God
God
damn
damn
sue
it.
each other.
I can't imagine a more nightmarish reality check than being a news story in a negative way. That'd be so fucking awful. Like on your show, because I've watched it for years.
Well, you'll be the Wednesday thumbnail of the PDS.
I know.
And yeah, I gotta like get something in there. It's like, you won't believe what he did.
Yeah.
Gus Johnson. Ooh, turned a corner. Wasn't a good one.
No, I'm on the brink though. Any day I'm going down.
It's just a matter of time.
Just anything.
One person has to talk. Oh, but now the fly's on me. This is. Oh wait.
Damn.
Is PETA gonna come after me?
The flies counting, PETA?
I don't know. PETA's just looking for any excuse to take a swing.
Yeah, dude.
Like I don't know what they do other than really they say something and then they just get shit on for about 72 hours. And
yeah.
I think that works for them as a business model.
I think it does. I wish the thing is, it's like you already got pretty much everyone on your side. You know, like who wouldn't be a fan of animal rights? Like you're already in the victory lane here. It's not hard to not mess this up, you know? I think, yeah, like you said, it's just inflammatory stuff all the time to just try to get extra press and stuff.
Yeah.
But also then they have a super high kill rate every year for their animals in shelters, but no one's talking about that.
I mean, they talk about it.
Yeah.
But not like They like say it and they're like, anyway, let's continue making memes.
We're good though. We love the animals, but there's got to be a better company that can do that better. I don't know. I like the animals too. PETA 2, yeah.
PETA 2, let's do it.
Let's scrap it.
I was like, I'm registering that domain right now. Out of all the stuff you do, because you do a ton, right? So you just finish the tour, or
just about a month or two ago? Yeah.
So you toured. Would you say that's more stand up, or what is the format of something like that? For you?
Dude, it's definitely straight up stand up.
Just straight stand up.
Yeah.
Okay. No sketch or anything like that.
No sketch stuff, and I wanted to make it in a way because this is my first time ever touring and essentially ever doing like stand up-y stuff. I did just tiny little open mic things in college intermittently, but I mean, it was just like you get a 15-minute slot once a month. You sing a couple songs, one-off joke kind of thing. So I didn't really have any stand-up experience before this. I was really happy with how the tour went, but I wanted to build the hour. The show's about an hour 15. That I do like a 30-minute Q&A and then the meet and greet stuff afterwards. Yeah. But I wanted to build the hour into like something that if you're just a random like townie that walked in and you didn't know who I was, you could understand the whole show. Yeah. I don't like... I shouldn't be a critical asshole, but like it's disappointing to me when I see like a Netflix special come out or something like that, and maybe it's from like an actor or somebody that's not traditionally a comedian that's doing an hour, and the majority of the specials like, all right guys, you remember me from seeing this? Here's some crazy stories from the set. It's like I don't want to know that, you know? It's just like this is just a victory lap for something you did years ago. So
I did this thing. Applause, applause, applause.
Oh, thank you. I didn't expect that to do. Yeah.
All right. So you have that. I mean, you have the kind of short, sketchy kind of parody videos. Yeah. I really like your rant videos whenever you do those.
Thanks. I don't research them though.
Oh, you don't?
Dude, I've had a couple times where I come out of the gates swinging hard. But the thing is, I make it very clear. I have not showered for a single one of those rant videos, by the way. I think I have like 15 of them out now. So I just go, and it's pretty much just something like bugs me, and maybe I'll do like 5 Google searches, and then boom, there it is. So that erodes my credibility to some extent, but also I'm pretty apparent with it.
I think I said the same thing to Eddie because I think he said something similar. Or maybe it was, fuck, I forget. But it's one of those things of like comedy is your lead, right? Yeah. It's not like unless you're saying something super egregious where you could get sued. As long as it's funny. Yeah. And it's not completely like tearing someone down, because then you would have a legal problem.
Yeah, that's true. And so I try not to take the big shots like that where like, I'm not out to like ruin anybody's life or anything, but if somebody's doing some bad shit, like I'll complain about it, you know, like I'll complain about Chris Brown and like Wendy Williams and stuff like that. But if it's like a lighter thing, like, hey, what the hell is with all these, like, you remember that Bohemian Rhapsody trend like a year ago when the movie came out? And it was like listening to Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time, never heard it before. Dude, thousands of videos.
I've never heard of that trend.
Dude, it was enormous. That was an example. I filmed it at like 3 in the morning or whatever.
That seems blasphemous.
I know. And the thing is, it was so apparent that people were lying because like a couple people could get away with it, you know? And I understand, you know, you can't... Not everybody can hear of everything, but it really was thousands and thousands of YouTubers that were just like, yeah, so I guess there's this song out called Bohemian by this band Queen. I don't know. And then it's just them listening to the whole song on headphones, you know, every 40 seconds, just, oh, damn.
I mean, here's the thing that I try to get through, because as crazy as that sounds, if the person was like 18, I'm like, all right, yeah, they might not have. Like, I don't know if I expect everyone to have ever heard Hotel California. Yeah. Like, I don't like go to 22-year-olds and I'm like, you're a big Eagles fan, right? Yeah, you love that shit. Your dad played it for you when you were 20 years ago. Yeah, of course. But out of all those things, do you have a preference? Is there anything that gives you the biggest kind of return on happiness?
The biggest, oh man, the thing is, the least consistent, but the most just like balls to the wall fun ever was doing the stand-up stuff. Like I feel so comfortable and I have so much fun on stage. And like, especially when you can do a little bit of crowd work at the end, if it's kind of Q&A stuff, which turns into like an additional like half hour sometimes. That is so fun. And I love performing more than anything. And even with the sketch stuff, like my output's pretty high. I try to upload 1 or 2 times a week. But that's really few and far between, and there's cameras rolling and stuff. Right. But when you're on the stage like that and you're just like shooting the shit and just like riffing really quick, it's so fun and exciting and scary and stuff. So.
Is it just the live kind of tightrope nature of it? Because I imagine at this point in your career that it probably pretty safe. It feels pretty safe around that audience, right? I know that you said like you can try and build something where a townie can come in, but I know that when I went into live events, I'll feel more comfortable in front of 1,000 to 2,000 of my guys than like 100 people at an open mic. That is just, the idea is horrific to me.
Absolutely. And I'm under no disillusions too. Like for this tour especially, it really was, it was a home field advantage, you know, like for the most part, I would say over half the people at every show, it was probably their first stand-up show.
That would still be a good split though.
Yeah,
really
but
good split, yeah.
But you know, of course, you know, no one's gonna boo me on my it didn't happen, and I was very thankful and stuff. But it's like most people are coming to the club because they know that it's my show. You know, it's not me walking in doing a 12 a.m. set at the Comedy Store. You know, to a bunch of drunken goofballs. Like the cards were stacked in my favor.
I remember when I was in, I think it was Ireland, and I didn't realize. At this point in my career, I think I was not aware of the history of the Irish and the British. And I mentioned just briefly on stage how I liked a British accent. And I've never experienced just 2,000 people that are just so there for you to immediately turn. It was like the real life, like it was real life Twitter of like you said some shit and now you have to deal with it. But you're just in front of them. But then the safety of just, you know that they're on your side, and so then you can immediately swing it. Like that's comforting. Do you think that for, let's say, your next tour, I know that, can we say that you're not the most pumped to go out on tour, probably just because like how exhausting and draining it can be?
Oh, absolutely. And it is solely the travel. Like I said at the live shows too.
No, it's the people.
It's the people.
They suck the soul out of Gus Johnson.
Each individual person knocks me down one peg. It's a thing.
It's a collective effort.
It really, dude, it's the travel. And I was even saying like on stage at the end of each show, because you don't want to start the show complaining about stuff, but after the whole show's done, I'd be like, all right, now that we're friends, we got that out of the way. What the hell happened? The logistics for this tour were the worst thing ever. Like, dude, we had times where like we went to Texas and they took our rental car, whatever, the reservation, the old Seinfeld bit. They took the reservation away from us. So we had to do a U-Haul freight trailer to drive to a few of the shows. We had Delta Airlines spill gasoline on like $2,000 worth of shirts and stuff. I had United Airlines break my piano twice. Like it just... Everything went wrong. We had times where we had to chase down UPS trucks in Missouri with our merch shirts on them because they missed it and we're like late for a show. Every day was hell. But like you get to these shows itself and it was little oases of fun, you know?
There are moments like when you talk about all that I end up feeling bad for kind of like Joe Blow regular person, because something horrible can happen to you, or like stress inducing, because you're saying it now, you're not in the moment, you've gotten past it, it's not as just probably you want to just tear your own head off now. But for Joe Blow, if something happens in their day, they have very few outlets, right? Maybe it's part of the reason why we see so many people raging on Twitter. But like you turned it into something here. Maybe have mentioned it on other the Gus and Eddie podcast. Maybe turn it into a bit. But there are moments where I'm thankful that I have that outlet, because there's just a lot of horrible that goes through my head that I'm just like, oh, I'm so thankful that I have this. Do you feel that, or do you recognize that for yourself?
I absolutely recognize that. Yeah. And I think that's a really good thing personally, but then I want to make sure that I don't get too, I guess, privileged in the sense, or self-righteous, where it's like, something's going wrong, I can't have this, everything goes right.
You don't want to be like, you don't have to white knight every issue.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just mean like the offloading nature of, I mean, granted, I don't really have like a vlog anymore, and I don't lash out in other ways anymore for the most part, but it feels like through your comedy, do you feel like you do that?
Oh yeah, honestly, I think most of even just the comedy sketches and stuff, or the bits that we riff off of on the podcast, are derived from stuff that just annoys the hell out of me. You know, like that's, if I'm doing a relatable humor thing as a sketch, it's usually shit that annoys me. So I can either spin a stupid experience into something positive and creative and ultimately, you know, profitable and fun for me, and then just complain about it. And I guess I come out happier on the other end because it's a positive outlet to vent, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you beautiful bastards. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I just wanted to take a second to thank one of the sponsors of today's show, Drop. Drop, if you don't know, is the fantastic and free app that's giving out millions in cash rewards for the spending you do every day. You just link your debit or credit cards to the app. You start earning points when you shop at places like AMC, Best Buy, Expedia, Apple, even Uber and Lyft. And then you redeem points for free gift cards to places like Starbucks, Amazon, and many more. And it's not just a select few. Drop has you covered with over 300 brands so that you get rewarded as quickly as possible. I also personally use the app myself because it works with a lot of brands that I already use. And honestly, a bulk of my points come from SeatGeek and Uber Uber, daily purchases from Starbucks. And as far as points go, you beautiful bastards have earned over 19 million points on Drop. And just a little more awesome on top, 100 of you beautiful bastards will be chosen at random to receive $5 to $25 worth of reward points. So just go download the app, add that card, use code ACW, and start earning today. But with that said, back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Something I always ask anyone that I find remotely funny. What was your childhood like?
It was pretty good, I guess. I wish I...
wait, just for the horrible audio listeners. Yeah. It was pretty good, I guess, he says, as he looks down at the table, remembering something.
Yeah. Shit from my mom or something. No, it was pretty good.
Do you have a bad relationship with your mom too?
No.
Can we bond over this, or am I just...
I wish I could. I'm a liar here. I have a synthesized bad relationship for when I film videos with my mom.
Oh, that must be so nice for you.
I'm sorry, she's a wonderful person, but no, it was pretty chill for the most part too. I would say if I had to derive the worst part of my childhood, luckily for me, it was not family experience stuff. I was a very quiet, insecure kid. I had no self-confidence, and I wasted so much time when I was young worrying about things in the moment that never came to fruition. I was a huge worrywart. I was just terrified of being weird and standing out in a tiny little cutthroat town, you know?
When did that change for you? Did it change for you?
Yeah, I mean, it started changing kind of slowly. Honestly, I think one of the biggest tipping points for like kind of getting my self-confidence together was in middle school, like right at the very end in junior high. I was just the shyest kid ever. I was in choir and stuff. But my mom forced me to do the talent show at the end of the year. She's just like, hey Gus, why don't you do the middle school idol? And I was like, I don't know about that. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to take your phone away from you until you do it. And you are going to be grounded for like 2 months. Unless you do it.
Wow.
And then she's like, and then if you do it, I'll give you $20. So at the time I was like, fuck you, Mom, what the hell? But then I needed someone to just throw me into the flames like that. Because then I went up there, I got my little PV amp and my shitty Fender knockoff guitar, and I sang Weezer's Pork and Beans really loud into the microphone because I used to watch the music video of all the old YouTube clips. Do you remember the music video for that?
No.
Dude, the Pork and Beans, Weezer. It was like the first few years after YouTube was like a thing. It must have come out in like 2007 or 2008 or something like that. And it's just like, it's got like Charlie the Unicorn and like Laser Cats and like that.
I think visually I remember it.
Yes. And like the Coke bottle guys and stuff. Dude, I must have watched that video 100 times when I was a kid. And I was just sitting in my grandpa's basement. I was like, I want to go sing that on stage. My mom made me do it. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I can go to my shell a little bit more.
Did you place?
Yeah, I got first place.
Oh,
I got first place. My mom sent me the video of it this week. I hadn't seen it since then.
Was that like the first time that you got like, it sounds weird to say, outside acceptance and praise?
It absolutely was. Like I got up there at the end of the talent show, I sang the song, and little greasy haired in front of my face, Aeropostale shirt, lanky Gus, sit in front of a panel of high school girl judges. Were like, oh, that was so sweet. And then my classmates cheered for me. And then they literally, this sounds like r/that happened, but I got sure. I know it sounds like, and everyone clapped.
And then I got a girlfriend and I grew 6 more inches.
But I went back to middle school and they carried me to my locker, and it was the end of the school year, and I was like, holy shit, I got to do that again.
Dude, okay, well, that's the best way anyone I think has ever finished middle school.
I know. I was like, this was supposed to suck. What the hell happened?
Yeah, it was like, for me, mine was always like, I'll see you over the summer. And then it just never did it.
Yeah.
Because I was playing video games.
Yeah.
That's it.
I didn't really hang out with a lot of kids when I was growing up. My parents kind of put the kibosh on stuff for no reason in my mind.
Like as far as you actually getting to do other things?
Yeah, and growing up,
to that.
Yeah, I was just like, why? You know, like, and I didn't think I asked a lot. I was a good kid, you know, by the book. I didn't drink or smoke in high school or anything.
Same.
And I just minded my own business. I got my stuff done for the most part, but it'd be like, hey, can I go to my buddy's house on the weekend? Well, no, you went last weekend. What? I'm sorry, is this a fucking time chart here? I didn't know I had to accrue PTO for hanging out with my friends here. This is bullshit.
No, I relate to that. Not fully. Like once a week it feels like normal. But my dad, my dad would like never let me go out. My dad, like ingrained me with cynicism and just fear and anger of the world. Like I hate to say this. So years ago, I want to say like 2-3 years ago, I have a half sister, and I was like, I want you to come out here. I think it'd be fun for you to, you know, get out of Florida. It'd be fun. And she told me that she was scared to go because she'd be traveling by herself, and she was worried that but the thing is, she wasn't even going to be traveling by herself, but she was worried that she would get raped on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, and like, here's the thing. I don't know what it is to live the life of a woman. There are a lot of fears I understand, but I knew that was like this thing that was probably instilled through like this random toxic protective nature of my dad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck. And I recognized it in all the limited opportunities I had as a kid. And it sucked. But yours was more time related, not like you're gonna get killed.
It's just dumb shit. Yeah, like it wasn't life or death. And of course, I'm pissing at pennies here, but like it was stuff like, hey, you got to turn your phone in every night at 8. Why? I don't know. It's the rule I made up. You know.
God. Wait. So when you were like in your teenage years.
Yep.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Oh, okay. So you're a little bit of a baby.
I'm a little baby.
You got like that maturity face.
Yeah. Well, the mustache adds about 8 years to that. Most people guess they're like if I just ask a random person, I'll be like, how old do you think I am? Most people say like 34.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, man. Well, because I was, wow, this is not going to be relatable at all. Because I was like, I love I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, like the internet was so new. It was AOL, right? Shit that like 18-year-olds have never seen before, as far as like what the fuck that login process looked like. But it was this beautiful 2 years of parents not understanding how technology worked, where you could like turn off a monitor and they thought the whole thing was off, and you could just like come back and like you're like, I'm gonna steal shit on Napster and look at crazy shit on the internet because this is what I can do. It was a beautiful time. Now it's so weird that it's now come full circle for me that I'm just like, oh, I have to look at the internet. Yeah, I can't. What's your relationship with social media at this point?
I absolutely fucking hate it so much.
Do you really?
I really hate it. The thing is, I feel like I'm in this position right now where I really feel obligated to use it. The only thing I really do like for the most part is I like Twitter, but it's mostly because I don't engage with a lot of negativity on Twitter. I use Twitter where it's like, I don't really look at it. Maybe twice a day, I'll be like, here's a funny video I saw out in the world, or here's a dumb little joke I thought of. Yeah. So it's fun for me to do that, but I stay away from it. I don't give a shit about Instagram. I utilize Reddit a lot and I waste a lot of time there. It is a cesspool for negativity a lot of the time. So I wish that I had the better moderating abilities to just be like, you know what, I'm going to delete Twitter for a month, or like I'm just going to walk away. But I feel this pressure internally to be like, I feel like I'm kind of on the up right now, and I want to try to build out these other platforms as a place to like. Twitter is essentially a second channel for right now for me. You know, it's like, here's a funny little thing that's not good enough to put on YouTube.
And it does blow up. Do you find that when things blow up on Twitter, there is a lesser gain? I was talking about this with a buddy, and he was like, you know, it's like if you are on YouTube and something hits recommended harder or trending, it's like that can be life-changing. TikTok, the way that people are getting organic growth sometimes out of like a pop, that can be game-changing as long as you then make sure you turn some levers. Yeah. Instagram can be meaningful, but then Twitter, it's like you see some people sometimes make content that the impressions on it have to be like 30 to 50 million. Oh, it's and nuts. They get 300 like followers. And so do you see explosive growth? Is it more just, do you think that it's serving a fan base that you already have? I mean, I don't know.
I think Twitter, I don't necessarily see explosive growth from it. I think that momentum helps a lot with Twitter too. So I mean, it helps that I have a few 100,000 followers, and I got that dumb verified tick, you know. So I think that if I make a joke, it's different from, you know, somebody that randomly maybe has 50 followers and they have a stupid viral tweet. Sure. So people will see like, oh, that's funny. They do other stuff. So maybe people are more inclined to follow me. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, I guess I don't really look at it directly as like a competition for everything that I post. But I think like there are dumb little jokes that I want to make, or maybe I'll see a funny sign and he'll like, hey, look at that dumb thing, you know? And like, that's fun for me to do. And I also see it as a way where it's like, if I throw it up and if it does well, you know, sometimes I'll have a tweet and maybe it'll bring in 1,000 to 3,000 followers. And I'm like, what if even 10 of those people stick around to watch my videos or come to a show? That's true. They'll be like, oh, that's great. I gave them a little taste of like, here's kind of what I'm about. I like that. They came on over. So, okay. So it's almost like a marketing pull. Or like a marketing lever in some way. Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm just like, what do I have to do today? It's like if I see something, I see something, you know? Well, I was gonna ask, because you have a pretty big output, like all things considered, especially because it's not
it's not reactionary, right? You actually have to come up with ideas. Do you, so is it just kind of chaos? Is it you plan certain things out?
It's fucking chaos, dude. I live in 15-minute increments. I have the nature of this last year or two has just been me struggling to just add some semblance of structure to my life. Like I'm proud of my work ethic in the last 2 years because historically I was the class clown fuck around kid that wasn't being mean to people, but I just never got my shit together. I'm definitely a work smarter, not harder kind of guy, looking to cut corners wherever I can with shit, obviously as evidenced by our podcast set that we taped the background to.
I still stand by that. If you try to make that set nicer, they will revolt.
Okay,
your audience will revolt.
Thank you for liking our shitty set then. But yeah, I mean, I care so much about what I put out now, and I really want to make it something that I'm proud of and stuff too. But I'm also always going to go the path of least resistance, and I'm really happy that my approach to that, content-wise, has seemed to resonate with a lot of people. And I assure you, it's not some intentional like, oh, if I make it look really shitty and low budgety. That's just how it's fun for me to do stuff. Sure. It's half the videos I shoot these days are on the like 2003 Sony Handycam that I was making videos on in middle school on my bike. It's the same fucking microphone and camera. I don't even upgrade my setup at all, hardly. Like, yeah, it's just run and gun, making shit up as I go.
Would you call yourself, or at a certain point, a hustler?
I don't. I am afraid of calling myself that because I think that I resent it sometimes in other people when they maybe get bigger and have a platform and then they turn into the like rise and grind kind of people. Where I'm like, again,
I had like a 4-month period where I did it, but it was literally based off of I was having a horrible time sleeping. So I was like, I'm gonna turn being up at 4 o'clock in the morning into something motivational, but hating life.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
But like that helps people though to some extent. And the thing is, I recognize like perhaps I'm just being too much of a Debbie Downer, and I'm not shitting on people like The Rock or like Kevin Hart or something like that, but I see traits of like where I'm looking like, oh, Kevin, you got like 20 Instagram stories today, and it's always like, people, if you hustle, if you grind, you can accomplish anything, you can do this. And it's like, dog, you're in like a $10 million gym. It's like, you are super talented, but we're also lucky as fuck. Like I am scared of ever coming across as like holier than thou or like, guys, I got this shit figured out, because I don't.
Well, the reason I ask is because I was like looking through some of I was like, one, trying to find any interview of you, and there's been very few. It's like me now, and then the H3 podcast, and then like newspapers. Like, and it seems like local stuff. But then hearing you talk about, it popped in my head because you talked about your old shitty camera, and then I know you talked in the past about you used to make shitty fake prank videos for Break, and just like turning that money around, and then like talking about what was it, getting stuff that people were handing out, and then in college, and then reselling it. And I was like, I like that, because one, it reminded me of a less illegal me when I was growing up. But do you feel like you still have any like that energy now?
Absolutely
In what ways?
The thing is too, like you asked me the question, would you identify like as a hustler? And I say no, because I never want to be the guy that goes, absolutely, you know? But to some extent, I do feel that. Like, I am kind of a cut corners guy, but I work my fucking ass off at the end of the day, you know? And I always like trying to be the guy that's just trying to scrap shit together, you know? I mean, I don't want to lose that aspect of like kind of survival. Like I talked to you, if you want to go see our interview with Phil, it's on the Gus and Sabrina podcast, cross promote. But no, like if I talk to you about that kind of stuff, like trying to scrap stuff together in college and flipping stuff online. I used to go, did I tell you about the HD DVD code thing?
No.
Oh, dude. I used to use this website called Listia, and this is not a promotion at all. It's kind of shady. You might want to stay away from them. But there's this website called Listia, and it was like, you never traded money at all. You would just trade points on the site to buy other items.
Okay.
So what I would do, so I would go to my grandpa who had a ton of like Blu-rays and stuff. I go to a bunch of my other friends and stuff, and nobody uses the fucking digital download code for those, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess some people use them online. So I would go and I'd take hundreds of these things and I'd put them up for sale on Listia. It's like eBay, but just for points on the same website. So I would just sell those goddamn things, and I'd trade them for like TVs and stuff, or like headphones, and I'd like sell those. And
that's fucking amazing.
That's the thing too. And I've spoken a lot about this even with my girlfriend Sabrina, as I've become very introspective in the last year. But I really respect that trait more than anything in people. And I think I identify with it a lot, is the people that say, no matter what, like, I'm going to just work my goddamn ass off to make this happen. You know, like just the people that are just scraping their way up, you know, and that's why I think I identify with like fictional characters a lot, like Walter White from Breaking Bad and shit, where a lot of people might be like, fuck that guy.
Wait,
and I'm
so
like,
okay, at the end of the end of the series,
yes,
were you still on his side?
100%.
My man,
he's
right
a piece
here.
of shit, but yeah, I'm like, dude, Walt all the way, buddy. I don't care.
I feel like everyone I talk to, or not everyone, 80% of the people I talk to are like, no, he's gone too far.
Yeah,
I was like, no. I was like, his kids sold him out. I was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the thing is, they are right. Like, fuck him for all that stuff. But
how much damage he's actually causing.
But it's like, at the end of the day, that's the problem. And I see that in fictional characters, and I see that in people. And I'm trying to approach people individually and people as a whole, just with the idea that nobody's really perfect. But I really admire that trait in people that just like,
Gus,
fuck you, I'm doing whatever I can. I think of like Dave Portnoy, you know, from Barstool Sports. And I'm just like, that guy, I really disagree with a lot of the shit that I hear about like the office environment and like how you do things over there. But I'm like, fucking Dave Portnoy is a guy that just ground his ass off for years, like would do 20-hour days working his ass off to make blogs and shit. And the thing is, I identify with that so hard. I'm just repeating what I'm saying now, but I'm super passionate about that.
Then my question is, if you can forgive all that, why can't you let Chris Brown slide, Gus?
That's a good point. That's a great point.
It's a thing that no one would ever expect me to actually say.
That is a really, really great point.
I don't think it is. I think that it's...
No, the thing is though, no, but it's a great point in the sense that, yeah, I just said too, not every person is just one dimensional. People are a multitude of things. You can't be defined by your worst moment. But in my opinion, Chris Brown has had so many worse moments and is clearly not learning. He has over 10 assault-related charges on the books ever since the Rihanna incident. All I'm saying, he seems like across-the-board ass.
The way you said 10 charges on the books with that mustache makes me feel like I'm talking to a cop.
You heard it here. I gotta say allegedly just in case, even though I actually kind of researched that video. I made a Google Doc.
You're like, I got this one.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're still enjoying that podcast so I can take that happy feeling and ride that into a sponsorship. This one specifically, Vesey. And if you didn't know, Vesey makes 100% waterproof and weatherproof knit sneakers that are incredibly comfortable, breathable, and actually love the way they look. I mean, it's hard to find a lightweight shoe that actually keeps your feet warm and dry through rain, snow, mud, and Vesey definitely hits that mark. And they aren't just for the winter months either. Their Dymatex material is the first dual climate knit material. It regulates temperature, so keeps you warm in the winter and lets sweat and heat escape in the summer. And so whether you're going on a muddy hike, running errands in the rain, headed to the gym, yoga, walking the dog, just going to the park with the kids, whatever, these are the shoes for you. Not to mention also how insanely stretchy they are. It actually feels like I'm wearing a sock, but not in those weird web toe shoes kind of way. So if you want to experience the world's first 100% waterproof knit shoe and get $25 off your order, just head on over to veseyfootwear.com/DeFranco. And back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Do you put anything in your hair?
I put a little bit in my hair. I'm open for business, Phil. I'm open for business.
Oh, dude, you're going to leave? I'm going to give you this. We're not selling the CBD version, but we have a normal version of the shampoo conditioner we just got. I was like, I'm going to give it to you.
All right. I dig it.
And then I'm going to watch your videos for the content. Then also I'll be like, let me see. Does that have a sheen?
Yeah, does that have a sheen? That's good because I ran out of shampoo a week ago. I forgot to get a new one. I've been using bar soap all week.
That's a 20-year-old move.
Dude,
that's a 20-year-old move.
I need to keep these things in my life though, Phil. I need to
Why?
I feel like I need to do that though. Like I use bar soap sometimes.
Is that to keep you grounded?
I think so.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, it just makes you look a little bit like a mess. It
Dude,
doesn't.
I like looking like a mess
nothing
though.
wrong. Here's the thing I'm saying. It's something I've learned now. Like there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself.
Yeah?
There's nothing.
I do not take care of myself. Yeah, no, I'm kind of a piece of shit. I get all my good clothes at Goodwill still. I shower most of the time. I showered for this. And I used my $6 tin of just that shitty Axe hair stuff because it's just all I've ever known. So I'm in the business for a nice new pomade.
Did Axe get you when you were like 10?
No, they didn't get me at all. I just, when I was at the store. Oh, as a child, I thought you meant like as a brand ambassador. Yeah, I was sitting watching Nickelodeon. I was like, oh shit, double pits to Chesty. All right, I got
it. I love the way that the ads have changed. I think if you want to look at how society has changed, look at Axe ads now and Axe ads 10 years ago. It was like, yo, you want to fuck? Get Axe.
And then they're like,
you're gonna die. You're gonna fuck so much. And now it's like, oh, it feels good.
Yeah,
it feels nice. I feel clean.
I had heard too that I guess their upper management was disappointed because their branding was so successful towards that kind of middle school crowd that was kind of their entire identity public wise. And they were like, oh shit, we got to kind of pivot this into older adults. But
well, I think one, it's good that they expanded their product line in general, because I know for me in middle school, maybe even a little bit of high school, which is very unfortunate, I used Axe body spray like it was a deodorant.
Oh God, yeah. Phoenix, you're done.
You just smell.
You just bought yourself 2 hours, baby.
Yeah, my wife was like, I don't know how we're together, because when I first got with you, you'd always wear these ugly ass sweater vests and you just reeked of Axe body spray. And I was like, maybe the personality, maybe you just knew the train was going somewhere decent.
That's
and
it.
You're like, we're gonna hitch up.
I'm hopping on chaos train there. Yeah.
How long have you been in your relationship?
I've been dating Sabrina for 2 years. It's going pretty chill. I dig it.
It's going pretty chill.
She is the first partner that I've had where I have very heavily involved a partner in what I'm doing business wise. And
in what way?
Well, Sabrina now works in a number of positions with me. It's not a clearly defined position, but for all intents and purposes, she's a producer of what I'm doing right now. If I'm doing a bigger scale shoot, maybe it's one of the Comedy Central shoots, she'll like look up peer-space locations, talk to other actors and stuff like that. She started doing some editing for me too sometimes, and she's just killing it. Honestly, like the Mr. Bean commentary video I put out, Sabrina edited a great amount of that. I went in and fine-tuned it. She's doing all my ad edits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All my contacting and communication stuff, like over the email, you probably talk to Sabrina.
For your videos, is it primarily now just her and you, or just mainly you?
It's still mainly me, and not to take any credit away from Sabrina. And
taking
she has
all the credit away.
all of it. Obviously.
This is gonna create a problem. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah, we'll fix it on the home front.
But I'm always fascinated by people that edit, just because it feels like for a lot of you guys, it's just a different part of the same comedy.
Yeah, and it's been really wonderful working with her too. But I'm still such a stickler. Like I want to maintain what I'm doing. Like every single sketch I'm editing, all those ones, and I just wanted some help on offloading, maybe like edit this ad read at the end, or here's a longer one. But no, but she's just been killing it, and working together has been really great so far. We've been doing it. She's like a full-time employee of me now, and it's been that way for I think about 6 months, and which is still relatively new, but it's been going very well, and I hope that stays the course.
Right now, so when you say like she's an employee of you, in your mind is...
I just mean on paper, not like, oh, mistress, come home, you know.
No, but I mean like in your head, right? Is your like kind of, I know that you said you live inside of 15 minutes, but is your kind of business model, it's all me, it's all Gus, it's all like, I'm kind of like the tip of the spear, and I don't need to kind of spread out and do other things. I mean, you have the podcast, you have the sketches, and you know, you're on different social platforms, but are you looking at anything like some of these other guys are, of like collective groups, as a business model instead of just a friend group, or what are you doing?
You mean like with some of the people I'd like collaborate with, or
maybe even whether you're collaborating with, or like, do you want to build a business, or are you wanting to just build you?
I think...
Which obviously those two don't have to be completely separate, but they have like slight changes.
Totally. That's a good question. You're a good interviewer, by the way. This is a lot of fun.
Perfect. I'm just going to hypercut all the clips of, oh, wow, that's a good question. You're a good interviewer. I'm just going to watch it right before I go to sleep at night, and I'm wondering what the fuck I'm doing with my life.
Yes. Close the door. So yeah.
I mean, if you're still figuring it out, don't worry.
No, I think that, I don't know how conscious I am of my direction. I guess I guess I'm a self-proclaimed short-term thinker, but I am also plotting things out, plotting as if it's evil.
But like, so okay, because like the Comedy Central thing that you mentioned, right? How did that come to be?
That came to be. They approached me about a year and a half ago, or maybe maybe 2 years ago. I think I was still at the tail end of college, and they had expressed interest in working together digitally. I had to pass on it because I would have had to fuck over everyone in my last production theatrically at college and just be a fly the coop douchebag. What's up? I'm the lead, but I'm out, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to move to New York. I didn't want to do that.
Your understudy was like, go.
Yeah, go. No. Yeah. So they approached me and we started working together and stuff. And it's been primarily with just their digital department, and they are just wonderful people. I'm contracted to send in a handful of videos to their digital platforms that I self-produce with their supervision. They have somebody on set, so I don't get brands and stuff on, which is weird. Like, they're great, but it's just like, it's weird having a guy watch you do stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I do that, and then I go out to a couple big events, and then I do like a man on the street stuff.
Sure.
I go to like South by, I go to like Comic-Con, stuff like that.
So when that opportunity comes up, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I do it because it's fucking Comedy Central.
No, so yeah. So
in my mind, like that's my literal thought process. Oh, that's fucking Comedy Central. You know?
So it's like a rung on the ladder or a check off the box for you personally.
Yes, and I don't really know exactly what my end goal is specifically, but I have a lot of things that I know I'd love to do. I was so pleasantly surprised with this tour. I absolutely want to keep stand-up a staple of what I'm doing in the next 5 to 10 years at least. In terms of Comedy Central stuff, we have a great relationship. They've been more than patient with me as I've delayed them for months, just trying to get my shit done as I try to turn in some of these projects, and I'm very appreciative to them for that. Also, just, you know, maybe 2 to 5 years from now, I want to be running my own show. I've got some comedy shows, ideas, 22-minute kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But so that is my goal here in the next couple of years. I am not eager to jump ship off of YouTube yet. I want to keep that going as long as possible. It also allows me a lot of freedom, as clearly everything I do on YouTube is kind of just like, whatever the fuck that is, you know?
Well, because I was going to ask, like, would you ever do something that's more longer form? The 22-minute thing sounds
without
like
a doubt.
So for you, is that, you know, writing, producing, directing, starring? What seems the most interesting?
It's definitely writing, directing, yeah. And I want to be in it too. I'm kind of, I guess I'm self-centered in this sense. The thing is, right now, what I'm doing, like with the sketch stuff, I like to think that I have a really good flow of it. I know what is funny to me, and I'm really happy that's resonated with a lot of other people. So I guess that's put me in more of a director position in the last like year or two, and I feel really confident in my choices, and I want to kind of like blow that up on a little bit of a bigger scale.
Okay. So for you, it sounds like you're very kind of like big, even though you talk about being short-minded, like big picture guy to a certain degree.
Yeah, it's like I'm on both extremes, and I wish I could find a better middle ground, because it's like I'm doing the comedy tour stuff, and I'm making sure like, oh, I need to write these people notes so I can sow those seeds at the clubs to be cool with them like years from now potentially. And then I need to like start writing this stuff aside. I need to book something a year from now, but also it's like I can't clean my fucking room for 3 months. I'm wallowing in shit. I'm like, where does all these fucking DiGiorno's crusts come from? God help me, you know?
You just gotta. You're talking about hand soap in your hair, which I think, hey, like regular Joe guy relate. But I feel like I feel like a lot of people think like the negative or the chaos lends itself to maybe why something's so creative or so good.
That's what I'm afraid of, because it's like...
It's not. That's bullshit.
Okay, good, because I'm like, I am so happy with the content that I've been putting out, especially in the last year and a half and stuff right now. And I do think that to some extent, there have been opportunities where I've made a video or done a project that has been so run and gun last minute that has come from those circumstances. But at the same time, a lot of the time, it's kind of miserable just trying to like keep your head above water with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've spoken before publicly and even on the podcast and stuff. Me as a communicator, dude, you can't get me to return a goddamn text or email. I look at my inbox, even if there's 3 things in there, I was like, well, I can't tackle that pile. I better not respond to that person for 3 months.
And then it just, as it stacks, it gets worse and worse. And you're like, well, I'll just never look at it.
Exactly. And I was like, why? It feels like shit that every response in the last year has started with me apologizing. Like, dude, Phil, I'm so sorry. It's been 2 months. Anyway, yeah, I hate it.
As things have gotten crazier and crazier, or tried different things, I've found myself to be more productive but less capable of regular human things. So you talk about the email. I have an assistant that literally filters it out in one giant swoop, just says like, okay, what's our response to this, knock it out.
Yeah.
For you, just get like a 1 time a week maid service. It's actually a lot less expensive than you'd think.
Like to clean my house though?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Why?
I can't do it. I will not do that.
You say that now.
I know, but I would rather be wading through my own shit and then assuming that it keeps me semi-grounded than having someone come and restructure my life like that a little bit.
Gus,
this is all I've ever known, Phil. This is all I've ever known.
Okay, it's a shitty thing to think, but your time, like, one, you should try and keep like your room okay, just for a sense of sanity. Because when I have a dirty room, I go insane, or I'm like I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But like your time this is a thing that Casey Neistat like really ingrained in me, and I've adopted certain tiers of just like your time's so much more valuable and your sanity is so much more valuable than, you know, not like either living in what was it, shit,
squalor essentially, yeah,
or feeling like you're slightly disconnected because you paid someone that wants to be paid and it's their job to clean.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. And I understand the thing is that all makes sense. And I understand that I will be operating at my best self if I get some of these other.
Also, I know I'm saying this and I'm going to get shit in the comments because they'll be like, he's so disconnected. Yes, to a certain degree, I am disconnected to like regular life. But yeah, man.
I want that kind of structure, and it comes and goes is the biggest thing. And it's kind of seasonal, at least from what I've seen too. Like, for example, right now, I just had college buddies that left 4 days ago, and it's the holiday season. I still have huge ties back home, so all the friends are coming out. So it's like the boys are in town for a week. Oh, we got to go do Hollywood Boulevard. We got to go see the observatory. That's really fun, but it's like I have to kind of put my life on hold for these chunks as I'm making and maintaining these valuable relationships. Fuck that fly. You know what I mean? It's like I see so much value in maintaining like the relationships and stuff that I have, especially with being literally living in the Midwest, like across the country, essentially. So I take huge parts of that, like out of my schedule and stuff. So then maybe it's like the boys are over for a week. Throw shit in my room. We're having people over. Fuck it. Throw that load of laundry on the chair. And I can never crawl back from that. Cause it's like, I'll spend 20 hours like, oh, I finally threw out all these shitty props I don't need. I better keep the Imbiamba Jones whip. I better keep that jacket, all this stuff. And then, oh, boys are coming over, or like, oh shit, I'm shooting for a week, and I throw all the props in there, and I just reset it, and it kills me. I hate it.
It sounds like you don't realize that you're on my side.
Yeah, this sounds like a therapy session.
It sounds like you're just like, I don't know. It just, this part stresses me out, and I value not only creation, but my friends.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do the thing that is easily handled by someone else.
Can I tell you a potential bit of hypocrisy that I might have within here? I
love hypocrisy.
Thank God. I definitely, it is true when I say I don't care what people think of me, in the sense that if you don't like me, that's fine. I understand it. I would hope people wouldn't think that I'm a bad person or a piece of shit. But otherwise, like public image wise, it's like I'll be an idiot running around in fucking thrift store tidy whities. I'll have my stretch lines hanging out. I don't care. I'm totally fine looking like the dope. But I still, within myself, I'm really self-conscious about, like, if people knew that I had a maid coming over and doing like even a once a week thing, I would be really embarrassed of what people would think about me for that.
I wouldn't care. It's just the sanity that it brings.
Yeah.
Like oh my God. Like, so we had someone that would babysit for us every now and then.
Yeah.
But we finally, especially after the second kid, decided to get a nanny. Right. We had some same thoughts of like, well, what will people say? But especially with my wife now, like working heavily on her project over the past year and a half, it was like, well, it's the only way that we can kind of have that time. And I know that some people are going to be like, oh, well, that's shitty. But it's made life so much easier. When we went to Florida, she's amazing. Our nanny is amazing. She came with us, and it's the only way that we have figured out so far to do a cross country trip where our kids our youngest is not losing his shit.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I got to be with mommy. Okay, I'm with mommy. I don't know what I want. But if he's just there, I don't know. He has like separation anxiety. I was like, if it makes my life easier and it affords me sanity that I will then be able to use, because I do not believe that like being stressed out of your mind lends itself to a good project. I think timelines can.
Yes.
I think like, right, so some stressors, but not to the point that it's detrimental to your mental health. Then who fucking, I have a maid and a nanny and I'm fucking disconnected in like certain ways to regular society, but like, it's the only way that I don't fucking break with the workload and stress load.
Yeah.
And I say that knowing that there are people out there that have worse situations and way fucking harder jobs. Mine's mentally and emotionally draining. Like, I don't have like a physically exhausting job. Like
it's hard though, you know.
But it's so easy.
Yeah.
Even I'm catching myself do it, of invalidating my feelings and like invalidating my stress because I have some good shit going on in my life. Like, that doesn't take away, especially if it's stuff like exhaustion or depression, like things that don't give a fuck about how good things are going on in your life.
Absolutely. And see, and I get that. And to weigh in, and especially on the parent thing, I think I'm very qualified. No children of my own here.
Yes, I know.
In my mind, when I look at your situation too, I really differentiate it with what I'm doing, in the sense that it's like, there are so many other people that depend on you, both like in a family state and as a business, as a company. And I look at my situation right now and what I'm doing, and yes, there are people that depend on me too. Like, you know, Sabrina is an employee of mine too, and I run a podcast with Eddie, and I shoot with friends and family and stuff. But in my mind too, you know, I am still a college kid that's making little goofy videos with his friends, and I can't justify that with the current life structure that I have right now. You know, where I'm like, okay, well, I'm eating frozen pizza at night and just editing in my room and stuff right now. I can't get over that barrier of justifying, like, get someone to help clean the house, help somebody just come in and give structure to my life. You know what I mean?
Didn't you just earlier say that you need somebody to give you structure?
I already told you I'm a hypocrite, Phil. What more do you want from me?
It feels like you are at battle with yourself.
Dude, I am. And man, this is like such a, thank you for watching my therapy session here, by the way. Smash
this is also therapeutic for me because I project onto people.
Dude,
so
I do too. I found. Yeah. I do too. This is like, we're just bouncing lasers off each other right now. No, I'm straight vibing right now, boys. I absolutely agree though. Like, so much figuring out has had to happen in the last year and a half, ever since I moved to LA and stuff. And it really, in my mind, was that last jump of like, there's no more windfalls, you know, no more safety nets. Cause up until even like just about a year and a half ago, I was in college. I was struggling to graduate. I barely graduated. 2.54 GPA, boys. I killed myself on the way out, busting through every hurdle and stuff.
But you got it, right?
You have to do that. And ever since I got out here, within the first year of living in LA, I almost went broke as soon as I moved out here, just because I didn't think the move was going to be as much. I wasted so much money. Well, I don't consider it a waste, but I spent so much money going to establish a long distance relationship with Sabrina for the last 6 months of my college and stuff. So I was flat broke. I came out here, and suddenly within the first year, I am in charge of doing an entire stand-up tour, writing a whole hour, doing 40 shows around the country, trying to like schedule the filming for it. I started a relationship with Comedy Central, of which there's a lot of obligations. And I feel like constantly in the last year, I am just playing catch up, apologizing to them for saying I'm so far behind, apologizing to everyone in my personal life. Like, I can't get back to you. I'm so sorry. I'm welching on plans. I'm a terrible communicator, trying to keep my head above water with the podcast uploads. I feel like I'm drowning all the time. And it's just trying to provide some structure to that.
So yeah, it sounds, I think that's one of like the super relatable things where, and people don't talk about it a lot because it's not relatable to a lot of people that watch, but like you're a little bit trapped in success.
Well, right? I don't know about that. I think I'm too proud to admit that I need help some of the times. Not like actual cry for help, like hit up my mom or something like that. Not to scare you, but like I have a hard time. I'm very good at delegating, but I'm too picky with like, don't do it like that. I do it like this. I'm too much of a control freak. That especially as I try to build out what I'm doing creatively, it's so hard for me to outsource an edit, even if it's just a simple little ad read thing. It's so hard for me to say like, I trust some other people to like go be characters and do this kind of stuff. And
well, the trust thing I get. Yeah. The trust thing I definitely get. How often in your life do you have someone say to you, no, don't worry, I know you're busy?
All the time.
Yeah. Isn't it like, I caught that a few months ago and I was like, oh, I hate that.
I fucking hate it so much, dude.
No, it's not them though. I hate that about me.
No, but I hate it in the sense where regardless of, even if I know it's not coming from a bad place, I'm just like, I know, but that's no excuse. I didn't text you for 2 months.
Yeah, it's totally no excuse. But that you just, it's like the nice way of just them holding up a mirror and be like, you're a little bit of a shit friend. But there, I think that's always I forget who said it, but it's kind of like the triangle. It's like work, friends, family. Yeah. You can kind of usually thrive or do a decent job with two, but one's always going to suffer.
I'm doing bad at all three of them.
Well, that's what, when you focus on all, or you try to focus on all three, I think you end up like chaotic and scattered. What do you think out of that three? That's maybe this is a weird question. Out of that three, what are the two things if you had to just focus? This sounds a little bit like a fuck, marry, kill for work.
Fuck, marry, kill. Your girlfriend, your personal life, or your happiness. So what are the three tiers?
So it's work, friends, family.
Okay, so which are the two that I suck at right now, or
no?
What?
Which would you focus on if you had to go? Okay, one's gonna suffer, even if it's for let's say a year. You're like, this is my fucking year.
Well, the worst part, I guess it's a blessing in disguise, is that my friends and family are so conflated in my life too, because it's like, I mean, my brother Gus Johnson, he has an already very successful YouTube channel, largely because of his own creativity and work ethic and stuff. I've had very little to do with the success of that. So now it's like, oh shit, now I've got my brother's a full-time YouTuber and stuff too. And even my younger brother than that is now like a core character with what we're doing. He'll probably have a big platform of his own someday and shit. So just so much of what I shoot with my family is already when I'm shooting with my friends, I conflate the two. If I had to focus, it would absolutely be on friends and family right now.
Okay.
Because I do have enough like kind of plotted out for the workflow stuff where it's like, I can do a weekly podcast. I can do a weekly sketch like that. I don't do them in good ways. I don't plan for things as much. I should script things out. I kind of just run and gun, make it up as I go.
Well, I was going to ask regarding the scripting for you, because you seem, and maybe it's just your acting's that good. It feels like a lot of it is ad-lib swings. So when you're scripting, is it, here's the thing, we're gonna do it and then maybe try and add on to it, or is it like the setup and then this is where we need to end it?
It is the biggest thing is, as I kind of deal with like the ideation and stuff, is I think I'm really good at coming up with a funny concept, like, oh, that's funny, and then you kind of already know the video from there, and then you try to think of an ending. The thing is, if anybody's seen any of my bloopers or behind the scenes videos, 90% of the time we're shooting a video and it's a really fast-paced thing. Maybe it's a character-based thing. I'm playing a mom character. I'm drunk outside. You know, I'm playing the wine lady or something. And we get to the like an hour in, and every time invariably we're always just like, I don't know how to end this. What do we do? So I never have an ending in sight, you know? So I will have a concept or a character or something, and I know there's a lot of good lines in there, and then I'll try to find the ending along the way.
And do you feel like, okay, so do you find the ending more times than not while you're actually filming, or is it an edit save?
Mostly it's when we're filming.
Okay.
I can't imagine, or I don't know the last time I went into an edit not knowing what the ending was. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I will shoot until I feel like I have something, which is also stressful because sometimes you have 2 hours straight of footage and you're trying to condense it into a minute, you know?
Wow. Yeah,
I hate that.
Because yeah, a lot of your stuff, at least. Although, do you feel like it's what would you say, like, as far as your content, the biggest change of the past year is?
Past year, I think, well, besides the fact that I dialed back to a weekly upload, just one a week, I think that I have played around with weirder, stupider ideas, and I've been very happy that those have ultimately worked a lot of the time.
Yeah.
When I say weird or stupider, I mean ones that aren't necessarily rooted in like, here a hashtag relatable, you know.
Sure.
I think of like individual character things. I don't know how familiar you are with some of the stuff, but like me being the drunk kid in God's country, me being like Mitchell Robbins, a guy that's obsessed with, he's afraid of his microwave, you know, me being Imbiamba Jones, who's just Indiana Jones as a kid that is a piece of shit, you know, those shouldn't work. And that's not based on anything. It's just fucking around. But I think people really identify with how much legitimate fun we are having on set. And I'm just happy that those have paid off. And I think I've taken a gamble more on that stuff in the last year.
Well, I think, okay, so one, that's awesome that you are even at a point where you're trying stuff that's different. But then two, I think it probably speaks then, if you're not going to do like relatable bait, like how much of that core audience you have, that it's probably less, because it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like when you were rising, a big chunk of that was based off of like the share economy of like a Reddit or Twitter and stuff like that.
That was absolutely my game plan, especially the first 2-3 years or so. Because I would consider myself as having done this, at least time-wise, whether or not it's been financially viable, full-time for about 5.5 years now. And the first few years, I was specifically like, I'm going to make YouTube haikus for the 30-second or less comedy subreddit. I'm going to do stuff that I think is going to perform well in this subreddit. And they were also things that I found super funny. But as I got a little bit of momentum going, I felt more comfortable being like, you know what? I'll take a risk here. And if it flops, it flops. There's still people that I think will stick around to give me a second chance in the next one.
Who's out there now that you think is kind of crushing it? And it's like new that they're crushing it.
It's new that they're crushing it?
Yeah, like let's say last 6 months. I know that's...
Well, we've had a lot of, I am so thrilled in the last 2 years, especially how just this really raw homemade sketch comedy seems to have really come back to the surface of people's attentions and has fallen in the good graces of even YouTube, the company and stuff. I think of creators like Caleb City, RDC World, Trevor Wallace, Churdley's Fairbairn Films, all these guys like the Ian Kungs, all those guys, you know, where it's just like this homegrown stuff that's just really thriving well. So, and we've seen a lot of big blow ups, like Churdley's just hit 1 million. Trevor Wallace just hit 1 million subscribers. Eddie Burback's at 500,000. Ayo boys. Like those kind of people have blown up to give a specific piece of praise right now too, because I am so in love with sketch comedy, especially internet like sketch comedy stuff. I really believe that one of the best character actors right now on YouTube is Churdleys. He's so goddamn good. Yeah, he shoots.
You just shot a video with him.
I just shot a video with him. He shoots with Trevor Wallace a lot.
Yeah.
Churdleys is very well trained. He's really smart, and I think what really sets him apart from the other people I've worked with, other YouTubers, is that he is so aware of the sketch as a whole and the material and stuff, and he is never afraid to be like, I'll take the backseat on this one. He's the glue that holds so many sketches together. You know, like he doesn't feel the need to be like, I got this killer line, stuff like that.
When I watch like Trevor Wallace's stuff,
yeah,
it reminds me, and I hate, what was the group that Kyle Mooney was in?
Oh, Good Neighbor Stuff.
Good Neighbor Stuff.
I fucking love those guys.
Yeah, so like it reminds me of like, it's definitely got a different feel.
Yeah.
Right. But it reminds me of that stuff. And also I think in the moment, just, and I've never met Trevor Wallace, and so maybe you could speak to it. Would you think of him as like someone that's like calculated, or in the sense of like he feels at times like out there? And I'll base it.
Yeah.
I remember going to a VidCon, and SourceFed was going to go on the main stage, and Kyle Mooney did some like crazy shit to the point, I think they cut his audio, and they cut his audio, and like he was done. I think maybe part of the crowd was booing.
What?
There was something super.
Was he doing a character or something, or what?
I mean, imagine he's always doing a character.
Yeah. Was it like that weird kind of guy with the voice like that?
We gotta see if we can find the footage and look at it later. But like, it just ends, and there was part of me that was like, one, immediately horrified because my SourceFed crew was gonna have to follow that up, but luckily they were hyper talented, and they kind of like saved that younger crowd that wasn't ready for what Mooney just fucking did. And then just like going like, oh, that's a dude that commits. Yeah, because that's when you talk about things that I really admire. Obviously, like funny is funny, or like to me, like what if something's funny, but the commitment, because that seems like the hardest thing. Because if I'm doing a bit, I crack in like a second. So yeah, that's but wait, so
you were asking me about Trevor, how like meticulous he is.
This is the problem. I ask a question, then I follow it up with 60 seconds of something that doesn't help you answer.
Well, conversely, I think my problem is I answer your question, and then I have 20 minutes of but then this and then anyway, yeah, dude, I've only very recently face to face been doing a lot of work with Trevor. I kept hitting him across the road, you know, like he'd be at the Laugh Boston, I'd be there a week later, stuff like that. But yeah, Trevor strikes me as a guy who is really like he's very paced out right now, where he's just like, I've got my routine going on like this. I got it, dude. Dude, did I get it? Did you see that? Did I get it?
That's the intro.
Dude, I got it. Where's this bad boy? Fuck you, Fly.
I would love if it was actually still in your hand.
Dude, it probably is. I'm washing with hand soap. Who fuck knows what's up there?
Shit. Fuck.
Check it out. Roll that back.
What were we talking
about? Jamie, pull that up.
Oh, wait, I was going to say. Yeah. So out of his stuff, I feel like anytime when Eddie was on, I was like praising all his friends. Now you're on, I'm praising your friends. Trevor, I think, was one of the first people on TikTok that I saw that I was like, oh, there's like good original content here. Yeah. And when you talk about the rise of sketch comedy, I wonder how much of that is going to stem from kind of like how much just random growth TikTok's whole system has been like throwing people. Yeah, dude, it's nuts. People are blowing up. But then people properly moving that audience so that it's not just one place, which has also been a wild thing of like people even being of like, you say business mind, but at this point it's just common sense. You're just like, at any point, anything could be Vine. And so let's be everywhere.
That's the thing. Yeah, dude, people are blowing up on TikTok. I'm not doing it.
Why?
I'm not doing it. I can't do it.
Is it the age thing?
I just think public image wise, like that is something that there is such good original content.
Your stuff is like a number of your things are built for it.
Oh, I totally get that. Like even the shit I'm putting up on Twitter, it's like that probably would have done well on TikTok.
Here's what you do, because it sounds like you're like, I can't justify things to myself. Justify it to yourself by going, someone's just going to rip my shit and throw it up there. I might as well benefit from it myself.
Yeah, but at this point, it's like, I care less about that. I was really vocal about people ripping my shit a lot as I was really growing, especially as I was just like, guys, I don't have something going on here, you know? And if it's like, maybe I got 50,000 subscribers and someone steals a video of mine, it's got 10 million views. Fuck that, you know? I guess I'm not as caring if people do that anymore, but I don't know. I just can't do TikTok. I just don't agree with it. Plus, isn't it like owned by like the Chinese government or something?
They talk about all these ways that it's separate, but yeah, I mean, if I finally created an account that had my name on it, it would have to be like a specific phone that does not use anything, just because I have that level of distrust.
Here's the only thing for you folks at home. If you see me go on TikTok, I will make it blatantly clear before and after that I'm only doing it because TikTok approached me to make content and I just highballed the shit out of them and they somehow agreed to it, and I'm going to do it half-assed until I don't have to.
Wow.
I won't even do it. It won't even get to that point.
I feel like they're past that point, because I heard that a number of people got paid. They never approached my old ass.
I talked to a number of people that did short-term stints on there, and they were paying nutso money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, even still though, too, I still would feel scummy taking that money. I joke about it now, where it's just like, I'm going to highball you and stuff too, but I just can't do it like image-wise and stuff. I mean, most of it, the people on there are like preteen kids dancing around and shit, you know?
But I think you just have to think of it as the way that I I've been like slowly talking myself into trying to figure out a way to get news or do news on it, which I would just need to meme it.
Yeah, just like, hey guys, Hong Kong protests all-time new high.
Dude, but people, like young kids, are doing news content. Obviously, like, you're not like, it's not super in depth. Some people are doing fucking crazy like history lessons and doing it in a really fun way, which I appreciate how the content has changed to just like people doing like whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
But you know what though, is I don't feel like I need to or really want to open myself up to that audience in general. Like if they find me, that's great. But I am so happy with the audience that I have right now. Like the people that watch me, I virtually never have any problems with people being really overbearing, people being super harassing. It absolutely happens, but you know, at this point, it's gonna happen. You know, I'm almost at 2 million subs. There's gonna be people that try to start shit sometimes, but like
start shit. What do you mean?
Just start shit as in like people that are really harassing you online and stuff like that, or people that like I've had a couple like security issues, both like personal address wise and like live show wise. Yeah. That stuff is inevitable at some point. But still, despite all that, I know other people that, like other friends of ours that might stray towards a younger audience, maybe a more TikTok-y, Instagram-y comedy audience. And I hear about the problems that they constantly have to deal with in terms of like doxing stuff, live shows.
So it's more prevalent if the audience is younger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Especially with that disconnect of like, you know, we are faces and we're public personalities, but again, it's like I'm a kid in my room, and there's that added connection of people feeling like I can just, you know, I can dox his address.
So like people that just don't have social awareness because they're so young. That's
and I see my friends and just other like colleagues having to deal with that so much. And I look at like what I'm doing and what Eddie's doing and stuff, and just collectively we have some of the most mature but also immature, as in like funny meme shit humor, but like I'm not gonna fuck you shit up mature stuff. I like who I have right now, and I don't feel like I need to go like, yo, TikTok tweens, let's get out of here. You know,
the one benefit I see is like when because I relate like the hyper growth that you're seeing on TikTok to, I mean, it wasn't really the case when I started on YouTube, but the stickiness, like think of yourself as big tobacco. Yeah. You want to hook them young. Yeah. So they stay with you and they go to shows in 7 years.
But I also see that I see time and time again too, like if that's your model, and you know, of course I believe I have the staying power for maybe a 2 to 5 to 10 years, at least creatively, what I'm trying to do, you know, but I see too people that blow up on these new platforms and stray towards a much younger audience, that audience has a tend to really dip off severely after a couple of years too. So everything that I'm doing, and again, this is going to make me sound hypocritical, everything that I'm doing consciously for staying power is like, I'm thinking of the big game. I'm not going for like short-term game stuff. Like I'm not taking a Raid Shadow Legends ad.
How fucking dare you?
Oh, did you do one?
I think it might have been the PDS sponsor today.
Is it really?
It's a fun game I like to play on the toilet.
There you go.
How dare you?
To that I say, you know what I mean though? It's like I'm going for the slow burn stuff. Like I don't feel incentivized to be like, I gotta hop on TikTok, you know, I gotta do this shit.
Sure.
So that's kind of like where my head's at with a lot of these things.
That seems like a healthy place.
It's healthy and unhealthy. I'm still tripping over DiGiorno's crusts every morning, so I cannot stress just enough.
Yeah, I was like, stop hitting on you living in a mess. Today we need 2 pauses, yeah?
Technically we need 3 because
Oh, God damn it.
Is it really?
Oh, no!
Cut that out then. Yeah, you can mix that. I mean, I don't care, but probably for your show format.
Is it even better if that's what play? Yeah. Hey, I hope you're still enjoying the podcast. Our next sponsor is actually, some say, I don't know if it's true, a favorite of Gus Johnson, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a collection RPG game that is fantastic and free to play. And also something new for 2020, you can now play Raid both on mobile and desktop, meaning you can play as the same user and just switch between devices whenever you want. You've got more than 400 champions to collect and personally customize, clan boss fights, arena battles, campaigns, dungeon battles, and more. And my favorite thing about Raid Shadow Legends is the social aspect of it. You can invite your friends, make clans, especially now that it's on mobile and PC. And right now, gamers can claim free champions and more by being Amazon Prime members. Just log in and sign up before February 9th to claim 3 epic skill tomes and 40 potions. Also, future drops run through April and include the epic champion Vala, shards, XP boosts, legendary artifacts, potions, and everything else that you might need. Just go to the description, click my link, and if you're a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free champion, the Adjudicator. So check it out, enjoy, but definitely do not wait because the offer only lasts for 30 days. But with that said, back to the podcast.
Put you in a tough spot. Sorry about that.
No, that's funny.
Swipe up, boys.
Hey, you don't want fucking 50,000 coins?
Yeah. Can I join you on the battlefield, or?
You know what fucking sucks? So we have a relationship with them, but we what was it? Fuck, I ended up waiting. So we thought we were gonna also get a deal with AFK Arena.
Oh
like,
yeah,
just put it on your radar. And I was like, all right, I want to actually play it before we get it.
Yeah.
After like a week, I was like, yeah, we can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Deal never comes through, and I've probably spent like $100 on that fucking
Oh my
game.
God.
And I'm like, you got me.
Yeah.
I was like, what if that's their business model?
Yeah, just nickel and diming influencers.
Wait, do you have a ring?
What's up?
Do you have a wedding?
Oh, I had one, yeah. I'm not married. Where the hell did it go?
I thought you said he had a ring on.
Oh yeah, right here. Pow! Check that out.
I was like, what is this?
Ring of Power, baby.
Oh.
I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
I was gonna see if I could. Oh, I could. There we go. I forgot my wedding ring today.
You can borrow mine if you need.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. So here's when I put pomade in my hair, I have to take my this is for beautiful bastard. No, but it's so oily, so I have to take my ring off. And like in the show, 50% of the time I just don't have it on, and I'm always horrified people are gonna call me out because I've gotten fat since I got married, and it's like the most obvious thing in the world. Like I don't know how to have a conversation with someone because I'm like, is someone thinking that I'm like just really bad at hiding this? Is that what's happening?
Dude, I put it over my ring finger. I like it. I just put it on there because it fits the best. But I fucked my knuckle up at deer season this last year. I ate shit and it can't bend all the way. So it's got this big beehive fat spot in the middle now. I can't get it over there.
You're from Wisconsin?
Yep.
Oh, so you grew up hunting?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a big gun nut at all, but my family goes and we'll go deer hunting, and like we'll harvest our own meat and then use it for the year, and that's all I care about. I just like doing it. I'm not like some big like Bible banging like no fuck you, give me my gun.
I'm not going after you.
I don't care.
What do you get out of it? Because I've never done it. I've had friends that they talk about it or they do it every year. Yeah. But yeah, what do you get out of it?
It is the greatest part of my year. I really treat it as my reset button. It's the beginning of my new year, because you have so much time where you are just alone sitting in a tree stand for hours on end. And I go out of my way to be like, no headphones. I'm turning my phone off, and it's just sitting in the woods. And the thing is, you look forward to it all year. So when it comes around, it seems like the year flew by, and it really is a full like reality check. Like, wow, where was I last year? Like, who was I with? What were the things I was worrying about? What ended up not coming to fruition that I wasted time and headspace on? And it's a good like cleansing feeling. Also, I'm a huge proponent of the phrase, what's the point of doing anything if people don't give a shit about it? I was talking to you about video games before the podcast. Sure. It's like, why I can't sink into a video game if I'm going to just change to a new game in a month or whatever. And with our hunting group right now, we got like 25 guys, and it's all friends and family. And every year we have so many traditions and little games. There's like a whole fantasy hunter, like fantasy football, tiered ranking system for like members in our group our group's over 50 years old at this point, pretty much. So it's like everybody buys into it so 100% and gives a shit about the traditions and like the names and the games and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, every year we get to have this big reset button with these people all alone in the woods. We'd go buy old church vans, you know, like a $200 like Methodist Church of, you know, Swanson Town or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
We'll carve all the seats out, build benches so that we can fit like 30 guys into the back, and we'll go out on public land and go deer hunting.
Wow.
I love it.
When did you get started with that? Like,
when I was a kid. Yeah, our hunting group's been around for like 45, 50 years or so.
When was the first time like you actually like they were like, okay, I trust you with the gun?
Well, I've been shooting guns since I was probably 10, I think, or so. And even still, every time it was always on like a gun range and stuff with my parents. And the thing is too, we're proud as shit. We take safety so seriously because there are people that are just so goddamn unsafe with this stuff. We've been together over 45 years. We haven't even had a minor incident at all, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. My personal experience has always been like, if my buddies are like super into guns, they've always historically been the most safe. Yes. So like that really does line up. Yeah,
that's it.
Because they just like it's because it is, I think, something that a small number of people super fuck up.
Yeah, I do think that, I mean, the only opinion that I have on guns that I feel really strongly about is I think that it is ultimately beneficial to have a baseline knowledge of gun safety. I don't think it's essential, but I do think that it can help if you are exposed to them in a safe environment. But again, there's so much gun control that needs to be done. It's fucking outrageous. But I just know in my personal
expand on that. If you were the governor of
yeah.
Tell me, I need 10 minutes. 7-minute clip of Gus Johnson goes in on gun control.
Gus's first public politics takes here.
Well, I know you kind of like jokingly said earlier, you're like, there goes my political career. That's how I look at all my old videos. I'm just like, well,
really?
I was like, that's a door that's fucking closed.
Yeah, I probably got some shit like that too.
Depends on how I ran.
Yeah.
I was like, with who I am today, nah.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, but no, I'm sure I'd be fine. And I talk openly about that kind of stuff sometimes too. And I think it resonates a lot with the people that grew up in cultures like that, because it is fully too, like, if you grew up in a similar culture like that, I think you understand what I'm talking about for the most part. But I have no problems if somebody hears that and they're like, fuck you, that sounds awful. I'm just like, you just clearly didn't grow up around that, and I totally understand that and respect your decision.
Gus Johnson, in a year, there's going to be a photo of you big game hunting.
Yeah, like naked on a water buffalo or so. What was that? The CEO of Jimmy John's? I was like naked on a dolphin or some shit.
God, I feel like there's like some rich dude or rich woman like every 3 weeks that people are like, look.
Yeah.
And then there's just so many people that it just gets regurgitated and you're like, who was it again?
Yeah, it's always some trophy hunter. I don't know if I agree with trophy hunting. We just kill swamp bucks and make them.
You're like, we just kill shitty deer. That's all we do. And deer that did stuff. Yeah. Like they're real dicks.
Dude, here's the thing too, is I absolutely love animals, and this is not tied to hunting at all, and it certainly sounds more like a joke, but deer fucking suck. I hate deer so much.
I've heard that from hunters, but
the old Louis C.K. bit of like him hating deer, like I really resonate with that, because deer are really problematic in a lot of ways. They're these beautiful Disney creatures, but like they really do destroy small gardens a lot. They cause a ton of traffic accidents. And of course, I get it. We came into their territory, but they still do be running into cars. They suck at crossing the roads and stuff.
You're like one of the people that cheered when Bambi's mom got shot. You're like, yes, one less.
Exactly. I haven't even seen Bambi, actually. I've only seen 2 Disney animated movies. I saw Hercules and I saw Oliver and Friends.
That's it?
Yeah, and I watched Hercules 6 months ago.
Oliver and Friends? I don't even know what that is.
It's some dumb cat. Oh, I saw the Aristocats too. I've seen every cat-themed Disney animated movie.
This is the line I've drawn in the sand.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna do.
I just missed out on it.
What I mean, we've kind of talked about like content on YouTube that we like, stuff like that. What kind of stuff do you not like? Because you know, as you've grown and you kind of end up being, to a certain degree, as everyone kind of grows, a mouthpiece, representative of the community in a certain way. What kind of stuff do you hate to see or dislike? Hate's a strong word.
I really dislike just blatant abuse of a platform, especially when children are involved and stuff. I think of like the Jake Paul guava juice, like loot box gambling shit, like where it's like we're still thinking this is a good idea. What was that, like a year ago? Come on, dude. I don't like that. And at this point, you know, the H3s and the iDubbbz of the world and stuff have already beyond covered and gone over obviously like big prank channels and stuff like that, or like gold digger stuff and just these really polished.
Sure.
Like, and at this point, it's like it's not even like new or exciting to be like, wow, look at that, fuck that. But you're so numb to it, you know. Like I'm sick of going on the trending tab and it's just like all these rich boys like, we're announcing our pregnancy date, the Ace family, you know, and they're just like, all right, that's. Cool.
I get hit up almost every day to be like, the Ace family did this, and I was like, oh, you want me to make them more popular?
Yeah.
It was like because apparently shit they've done.
Yeah.
Just skates.
What are you the most sick of people asking you to cover? Or I guess not sick of necessarily, but what do you see the most where you're just like, I don't know if I'm going to cover that?
If it's a YouTube story that there's no way I can add a meaningful angle. Like talking about, I think, like the Onisions of the world, talking about the gambling scandals, talking about things that might have legal ramifications or deeply affect the website. And it's like someone was mean in a relationship and like, or I don't know. There's just, if there's like weight to it, or cause I'm just not, there just has to be like that extra thing of like, there's a reason we're having this conversation. I don't always hit it 100% of the time, because sometimes, especially when you're doing everything so fast, I can have whatever size team I can have, but doing kind of like the quick turnaround piece, that'd be hard. So like if someone, if let's say you and Sabrina broke up, right? And someone was like, yo, and maybe she says like, you were like kind of a dick, or like she put some Medium post out, like, unless there was a legal thing, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Like I don't know. But I think that's also, a lot of this is evolution over the past few years, because definitely name value, scandal of some sort, it adds views. But I think it's just, I'm at a point where, let's say the show died, it went away, I'd feel comfortable with that. Like I would have made peace with that. And so I think that's why I've also tried to lean into more of like, this is a big international story that we need to talk about. This is a big domestic story that we need to talk about. I might not be able to change anyone's minds, but just hopefully there are enough people that can pay attention and go like, okay, I think I have an understanding of what's happening. That's kind of what I aim for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. I stick through the whole episode. I mean, I told you before. I watched
but that
the show
said,
for
also
years,
like, so a thing that I'll probably talk about this week, if I haven't, I'm thinking this is Wednesday. On Friday.
Oh shit! It's Wednesday.
Well,
no, it's Friday, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh, don't do that to me.
This goes up.
I already don't have any structure.
So it's like 2 days from when this podcast is going up. There's going to be a Nissan Gibb Jake Paul fight. I'll maybe talk about, so like that. It's a merging of mediums. It's this weird thing that, like in the past, whenever you talked about kind of like celebrities boxing, it was this weird freak show that maybe like very low dollars were involving, but as everyone is slowly getting pushed to the same kind of level, whether they went through the mainstream route or whether they just kind of bubbled up on YouTube or any social platform, that's industry changing. So like I would justify that. What are your thoughts on? Oh wait.
Well, I was going to say, I believe I said this when you were a guest on our podcast, and this is just I got to kiss your ass for a second here.
Perfect.
Is I've told you, I've consistently appreciated over the years how you have gone out of your way to highlight people that come from a less traditional, more online-based entertainment system, and said like, look at what's going on. Look, Troye Sivan's got a hit album. Look, this Logan Paul fight, you may hate him, but this is really great for getting eyes on the platform and stuff. I think that's really important, and I think it helps to legitimize this kind of melding of old and new that's happening in the last like 10 years now. Is we're like, oh shit, what's the middle ground for this? So,
but it is, I will say there is one part of that story that I'm like, it's a little like, I don't like it, is just knowing that a number, because when I look at Logan Paul, like he doesn't bother me as much. I've talked about this with, I think both of you on the last podcast, and definitely with Eddie. Logan Paul doesn't bother me. I was a fan before his scandals of like just what he was doing and like the scale that it was happening, and just not fully the reckless nature of a lot of it. But then seeing how he's evolved, I think also over the past 10 years, I've seen a number of reasons to be like, okay, I can't like if someone's shown any glimmer of change, I can't just like dismiss it.
Do you think he has been, or sorry,
Logan, yes, that could be just him doing a great job of bullshitting. Right. I always have to kind of keep that little asterisk there, that little bit. But and yeah, I mean, but also if he's like super, if you said he's super egotistical, yes, probably 1,000%. Right? Is he calculating? Probably 1,000%. I know that when Eddie was on, he was like, sometimes he says shit, I'm like, that's really funny, and I hate myself for liking it. But with Jake Paul, it's so, I don't, if Shane Dawson can do like a forgive this person docuseries on someone and then they just like throw it away almost immediately.
I think that was a bummer.
That he did that?
Yeah, well, I wish that he would have been a lot more holding Jake accountable for stuff.
Well, I think he tried to like mention some of the points that Nerd City made regarding like what he was doing with kids. But yeah, I don't know. But that dude, like, I think that dude's got to be crazy loaded. He has, I was like, I'll say allegedly, even though I know things. Yeah, allegedly, like he has like. There's certain people that I think that dislike him that are benefiting him because they're like using companies that he has equity in, right? Shit like that. Like companies that I'm like, oh, I would have worked with you, but I know that. So yeah, I don't know. So that's a weird thing is like, I want to see it. I hate the idea that I'm going to buy something, even with the hope of seeing this dude get like his nose busted again, but it's going to benefit him.
Is it on DAZN?
DAZN.
Good, because I forgot to cancel mine after that.
I think that they were like, you can't.
I know.
You can't. I did it immediately, like just right on Apple. I was like, nope, fuck this.
I should have done it because now every month I'm getting billed and it's like $20 a month. And also like I got the shittiest spam emails after I signed up for DAZN to watch that stupid fucking fight. God damn it. They played me.
So kind of one of the things I always like to try and get from someone is like, has there been like a standout piece of advice that you've gotten that helped you, your work, anything like that?
I think the best advice that I have gotten, and it's what I try to either give other people or preface before I give other advice of mine, is especially when I was trying to pick out college and what to do after high school and stuff. I had a family member come up to me and said, listen, the biggest thing is you're going to be in a period of your life right now where you're going to get more solicited and unsolicited advice than perhaps any other time in your life. People are going to share like, I went to college here. You should do this. You should enroll in that. Why don't you sign up for that? And the biggest piece of advice that I got was know how to pick through the advice and understand the source and the intent behind the advice. And I've tried to use that decision-making process as I ask like family, loved ones and stuff, just like, what do you think I should do in this situation? Or if they even come up to me and they're just like, hey, I think you should do this. As my head immediately goes to, why are they saying this? And what is their intent behind this? As opposed to just the substance of what they're saying.
I like that. I like that. I think that's a good note to go out on.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Gus, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Thank you for killing that fly, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel 10 pounds lighter from my emotional baggage.